Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Around the Table GTA. This episode is going to be part of a short duality series, so I'm going to cover one side and then I'm going to cover another side. And I think just because of the climate, I don't know, I think the climate in general has just been a lot, like, very hostile, right? And we just need to think of different things, but at the same time, we need to pay attention to how our interactions with other people affect other people and ultimately affect the world. Everything that you do resonates with other people. Sometimes a good experience that you put into someone's life affects them forever. Um, Even if you think about teachers, what they say, good or bad, it affects you all your life. So today we're going to be talking about being nice. I've been pretty mean this week, but when I say mean, it's more of being pretty straightforward. And if you know me, you know that I can be pretty straightforward. Um, some people think I'm nice, but I don't really think that I'm nice. I would say that I'm kind, but if you really know me, you might be scared for me to say something in public because that's how it is. But I'm just going to talk about the benefits of being nice. First of all, being nice is like hitting the like button or leaving a comment on the podcast. It doesn't cost anything, it's free. You being nice to people can change how that person is. Just in general, like, I'm going to use work for example, and then I'm going to use another example and obviously more and more examples as the episode goes on. But generally in work, I have, I don't know, I some people will say that I could deal with all the troublemakers, and the reason why I could deal with the troublemakers is because I'm pretty much nice to everyone. You have to be considerate of people, especially when you're working in a management kind of position. Everyone has problems. Everyone's dealing with something. Everyone's going through something, whether it's at work or at home or just personal. You don't know what people are going through, so being generally nice works. Um, I'm also pretty results oriented because um, ever since I've been able to sleep because I'm off nights now, I just realized that I don't like hearing the same problem over and over again. Sometimes I've been like that, and I've been pushing myself to stop complaining about things that I could fix. And that's how I get into certain things or how I just develop certain stuff, right? That's how I got back into running last year. That's how I've gone cycling a little bit more consistently. Last week I did 49K with someone, and it was a lot. I haven't biked that hard in, I don't know, ever in one day, and I was able to do it, and I'm not dead. So just pushing yourself helps. But just going back to being nice, it doesn't cost anything. It helps people feel better, and even if you don't have um, all the answers, people like being heard. People like being noticed. People like being appreciated. So it helps being nice. I always talk about being the kitchen VIP, and what I mean by kitchen VIP is that anytime that I go to the caf, you could like, if I get food and someone else gets food, I usually get more food. When I was younger, I heard the term that you should always be nice to the person that feeds you, right? And I think that's more of a shout out to moms. But at the same time, if you're eating fast food or going to a diner or whatever, when you're nice and when you're known, you get better treatment. So it's better to be nice at times, right? If you're mean, right, you could get the same kind of results, but we're gonna cover that in the next episode. We're just going through what nice being nice gets you. But anyways, when I show people, which I usually don't, uh, the food that I get, people get upset and they're like, "How come you get more food than I do?" Okay, well, first of all, I always talk to the calf ladies, right? The calf ladies are nice people. They're human beings. A lot of people aren't really nice to them. They just ask for their food, or they complain about how their food is made, or whatever. You're giving the people that are feeding you a hard time for no reason, just because you're in a bad mood, or because you're cranky, or because you're hungry or hangry or whatever. Talk to people with decency. I talk to these ladies. I greet them every day. I ask them how they're doing. You know, I just talk with them because why not? They're people too, right? And through the progression of talking with these people, getting to know them a little bit, I get a little bit extra more food, right? I know that's like three words saying the same thing, but just bear with me. Either way, it's kind of like a bonus for just being nice. Hey, how was your day? Oh, are people giving you a hard time today? How was the weekend? Little things like that can change your perspective of people could change their perspective about you. And it's very low effort. And that's what I don't really understand about people. Like, a lot of people are mean, or they're just like, oh my gosh, my life sucks. Ah, right? Okay, yeah. If your life sucks, why don't you do something that makes other people's lives suck less? And then maybe your life in tune will get better, right? You could work at a shitty job, right? But if everybody's nice at your shitty job is a little less shitty, right? So I'm a big believer in, practicing what you preach and setting an example, right? And when you do those things, your life changes. And there's always going to be resistance. Like, I moved from nights to afternoons, and there's a lot of people that are very resistant. There's hasn't been a lot of change. People complain about a lot of things, and people are backstabbing each other all the time. But through all of that, I always let people know that, hey, I'll do what I can if I could change anything. But at the same time, what are you doing to change the scenario at work, right? So I was working in another area, and this guy kind of came off as rude. And instead of me responding the same way, right? Because a lot of people are like, oh, if you have bad vibes or bad energy, I'm going to give you back that energy. That doesn't help anything, right? Sometimes it can help, especially like if you're trying to avoid people. But if you're going to have to be working with someone, or living with someone, or just being in the same general area as someone, you have to learn to compromise. And sometimes being nice irons everything out. They could be having a bad day. They could be going through a breakup. Someone might have died, etc., etc. So you never know. Just treat people generally nice, and then you could figure out what happens. So, long story short, with this person, that's just how they talk to people, right? After talking with them for a bit, I realized that. And they are a generally super cool, hardworking person. So if I reacted in the way of, oh, this guy's rude, I'm going to be rude with him, it wasn't going to help me. And I'm happy that I didn't choose to do that, because they're a pretty awesome person, and the stuff that we talk about is definitely interesting. The last story I'm going to use is that I was taking an Uber to work, and I was just pretty much quiet for the ride. I didn't really talk to the driver. And then after, I was like, you know what? I feel like I'm being rude. Let me make some conversation. Like, most Uber drivers, maybe they don't want to talk. Some want to talk. Some are chatty. But, I just felt like talking to the person for whatever reason, right? So I was talking with them. They're talking about how they work at the airport. And I'm like, if you work at the airport, like, airport, at least where I live, you could work part-time and make like $40 an hour. They get like crazy pay, right? So I was like, why are you doing Uber and the airport? That's a, like, I don't know what you're doing with your money, but that's pretty good money. And he told me the story about he's raising like three of his kids, and his wife is like paralyzed, so he has to do like everything when it comes to working, cooking, cleaning, etc. So you know, life's just pretty hard for him. And, you know, I really felt for the guy. Like, I don't know how that feels, right? I haven't dealt with that type of responsibility. Like, I've dealt with, like, when I was growing up with my mom almost dying, like, all the time, but her health has gotten a lot better. But I couldn't, I couldn't imagine what this guy is going through, and I don't know how I would deal with it. But, you know, he was talking about that, and, you know, just taking responsibility and doing the best that you can for your family and the people that you love. And it really made me think, you know, maybe I should have like another uplifting episode, get out of the conspiracy theories for a bit and go back to the base of this podcast, which is helping people grow and changing the mindsets of others, or just having a more open mind, right? So as we were chatting, he was talking to me and he was like, "Oh, you know, you look pretty young." And I was like, "Oh, you know, I'm not that young." And I dropped my age. And he's like, "Oh, well, you know, that doesn't matter. Um, this airline is hiring people. So um, even if you're not too educated, or if you have that availability, go and search it online for this job." And like, he told me the specific job, right? And he said, even if there's no postings, just keep checking every day. And it's $35 an hour, and they do all the training for you. And this piece of information came just for me asking, you know, how are you doing? And, oh, you work here. How come you're also doing this, right? A little bit of small talk gave me the opportunity to find a brand new job if I choose to leave my current job. And I think that's the thing that people need to realize, is that as much as the internet and the news say that everyone's hateful and be fearful and be scared, nothing hurts by being nice. Just be nice. It doesn't take a lot, right? And if someone's mean, okay, that person's mean. But if that's the case, then let them be mean. They're miserable. Leave them to be miserable. That doesn't have to be you, right? If you're surrounded by a bunch of toxic people or whatever, yeah, it's going to wear you down eventually. But at the end of the day, if you are nice, if you're a good person, things will eventually come to you if you seek it. You can't sit down and be like, "Oh, everything sucks. Everyone sucks. I'm not going to do anything. Boo-hoo, me." There is like 7 billion people in the world. You're not the only person that's dealing with a problem, you know? So being nice can help change a lot of these things, and opening your eyes and kind of like opening your heart to the possibilities of something being great can change the dynamic of a lot of things. Just start looking and you'll see how things change. And you know what? I'm going to challenge you to be nice today. Whenever you hear this, whether you're hearing this before you go to bed, you could be nice tomorrow. If you're hearing this in the middle of the day, you know what? Try not to be mad today. Try not to get angry. Try and be 100% a positive you, right? If someone's rude, kind of shrug it off, shake it off like Taylor Swift, you know? Yeah, just try it out. Anyways, hopefully you guys like this episode. Next episode, I'm going to be talking about being mean and why it's actually beneficial and why you should be mean more. See you guys later.